So if I had never seen this show before, this would be my best guess at narrating this next scene. Oh, hey, Fisker. Where is everybody? Let's go see your brother. He's home from college for spring break. Hi, honey. Nice to see you. Let me say hello to your brother. I haven't seen him since Christmas. Hi, Shane.
Oh, hey, Mom. Can I borrow the car keys? I want to go out with my friends tonight.
Well, all right. Come talk to me first. I haven't seen you since Christmas. How's school? Tell me everything.
What do you want to know?
Come here. Come sit down next to me. Oh, not you, Fisker. Tell me about your finals. How did it go?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm hungry.
Come on, tell me. How'd you do with your tests?
Okay. Can I borrow the car keys?
Ugh, you're impossible. You just got home. Talk to your mother.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Well, tell me, how did your classes go? Tell me something. How do you feel?
I feel hungry right now.
Okay, whatever. I'm done. The car keys are on the table. Just go. Be home by 11.
Okay, I'm gonna make a sandwich first.
Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 14, Episode 5, Liar, Liar, Friendship on Fire. Okay guys, last week was a little rough for me. Maybe for all of us. And although I don't know what this episode is going to be about, I swear to you I am not going to mention the word train. I may not mention any mode of transportation whatsoever. And I hope Bravo has chosen to move past it. So let's get started. Okay, so episode 5 picks up at the restaurant. Everybody is back at the table now. You know, we left last week with Gina saying, well, this is a fun day in Beverly Hills. So Shannon gets up and she's like, you know what, guys? We're gonna have some fun. Yeah, fun Shannon is pulling out the costumes. I think she just was going for this whole tourist look because her big surprise is that they are going on a double-decker sightseeing tour bus. Everybody's putting on their costumes and fun Shannon is steering the bus here. Not literally. She's like, yeah, come on, girls. And everybody gets on the top deck of this bus. And then you see Christian, the tour guide. God bless him. He looks so hopeful and happy. And he's like, oh, you guys look like you're ready for a tour. Because he doesn't know what's about to happen. He thinks this is a group of girls who are up for a rowdy, fun, good time. No, sweet Christian, no. These are housewives. Things could turn on a dime and most likely will. So hold on to your sweet little hopeful face right now, honey, because by the end of this tour, you're going to question choices you've made in your life, namely to be this tour guide. Okay, so they're using their Insta cameras to take pictures of each other, and Shannon grabs the mic from Christian and she's like, ladies, let's go get some shots. And at this point, Christian is still loving life. Okay, so they stop in this tavern called the Pig and Whistle. I know. I thought it was a little too soon to go to a place with pig in the title, but Vicky wasn't there, so I think they thought it was okay. Anyway, Shannon is bringing shots around to where Bronwyn and Tamara are sitting. Bronwyn is like gesturing with her hands, and she accidentally knocks into the drinks, and they're kind of teasing her, like, oh, what are you doing? And Tamara said, are you a troublemaker? That was the seed that Tamara planted to now go after Bronwyn. All right, Christian, are you paying attention to this? Because the second half of your little bus tour is not going to be quite so fun. So Tamara's like, I had 2 days of wondering, are you a troublemaker or are you actually a nice girl? Bronwyn said, I think I'm a little of both. Tamara, because I heard you contacted Lizzie and Gretchen. Bronwyn goes, no, Lizzie contacted me. I have my very, very good friend. I think her name is Sam, is friends with Lizzie. Anyway, without getting into too much detail, Bronwyn said that they reached out to her. So Bronwyn has gotten herself in a real sticky situation. And by sticky situation, I mean a flat out lie. Yes, my girl Bronwyn is having a little fall from grace. So Tamara's like, you don't understand that they're responsible for trying to take down my husband. And she goes, I know. If I want to be friends with you, I can't be friends with them. I get that. But I did not reach out to them. They called me. Oh, girl. Rookie mistake. Don't lie about something when there is tangible proof otherwise. Emily, who is good friends with Lizzie, has or Lizzie showed her, or now Emily has it on her phone, I don't know, the text thread of Bronwyn reaching out to not only Lizzie but also Gretchen. Both of those conversations initiated by Bronwyn. Okay, so we leave the pig and whistle. They're out on the sidewalk waiting for the bus, I guess. You hear Shannon, oh, they're talking about Gretchen and Lizzie. Shannon is filling in Kelly, I guess, and Gina. She goes, yep, and Emily has the text to prove it. Emily goes, I have screenshots. Why? Why do you have screenshots? I could not maintain a friendship with any one of you ladies. What kind of friends do that? You know what? Here's the thing. The things that make you a good housewife are the exact same things that make you a bad friend. We can't have it both ways. We either have to watch this group of obnoxious women tear each other apart, or we watch a group of real friends do what? Be nice and supportive to each other? Boring. So yeah, here we are. So they're confronting Bronwyn. Bronwyn's doing a lot of humana. It wasn't that I reached out to her or she reached out to me. Yeah, okay. Somebody reached out to somebody. So Shannon goes, well, we have the texts. So they're getting on the bus and Shannon's like, show the texts. And Emily's like, okay, I have them. So yeah, Bronwyn, this is what you call caught red-handed. I don't know what Shannon's problem is. Shannon's like, I just feel betrayed. This is what I can't tolerate. Dishonesty. You can't handle dishonesty? Your buddy you're sitting right next to is Tamara Barney Judge. So, Shannon and Tamara are really attacking her. You know, this girl that could have been the new Tres Amigas a few days ago, she reached out to two girls you don't like, and now you are going to cut her. Tamara's like, well, that just makes you a liar. Bronwyn starts crying, and she moves up to the front of the bus. Funniest line of the night so far. Tamara then goes after her, walks up to the front of the bus. And she goes, I can't sit here and watch you cry. It's not my personality. Oh my God. Oh, Tamara. Thank you for bringing the laughs. Bronwyn apologizes again, and she's like, I have no memory. Like, I didn't do it to intentionally hurt you, reaching out to them. Then in Bronwyn's confessional, she said, I just moved back here. I didn't know there was bad blood between them. Didn't you, though? That I'm not buying. I still think you're better than some of the rest of these people. But should you really be cleaning up the mess of one lie by saying another one? Not the best idea. She's like, did I lie a little bit? Yeah, but like just a little bit. And it was only because I didn't want to get in trouble with them. I actually understand that. Because getting confronted is kind of scary. Most people, if they caught you in a lie, just quietly distance themselves from you. Like any decent human being. We file it away and then slowly but surely have less and less to do with you. But not these women. They come at you and they call you out on stuff and it's scary. And I think her gut reaction was just said, I didn't do it. They're still on the top deck of this bus. Now Emily said today was the last day of Shane taking the bar and he's going to be home tonight. So I gotta get home. And Tamara goes, so you're leaving right here? And she goes, yeah. So like the bus stops and Emily gets off. But Shane is done taking the bar. Okay, so when she gets off the bus, Bronwyn goes to sit next to Gina. She's like, wow, I mean, I just got yelled at. I mean, I'm not usually confronted like this, but I owned up to it and, I got through it. Okay. Sweetie, that was nothing. This isn't over. Have you never watched this show? Come on. The conversation between Shannon and Tamra, I don't know about the new one. We're not off to a good start with her. No, we're not. I can't trust her. Okay, she's laughing with Gina like, I got through it and I'm still fun. Oh, and then she leans over the aisle and she goes, okay, guys, can we have fun now? No, Bronwyn, we can't. You are not going to have fun for a long time. Not until you are good and punished. And she goes from this super happy, can we have fun? To, and crying again because Shannon's like, that's my one no-no, lying to me. That's why you're so tight with Vicky and Tamra, because thank goodness those two have never lied. Bronwyn's like, okay, I did it, okay, I did it, I reached out to them. That's not good enough. She showed us the texts, which, I mean, she's kind of right about that. She wanted you to own up to it before the proof was shown. Bronwyn's like, she's back in this tearful state. Nobody's talking. And Christian, sweet, sweet, innocent Christian. All right, and that's it for the tour. Did y'all have a good time? Dead silence. I know one little tour guide who's going to be stopping off at the Pig and Whistle on his way home. Drowned his sorrows a little bit. So now all the ladies are back in their little minivan to go back home to Orange County. And of course they're talking about Emily because she left early. And Tamara's like, well, why didn't she just go home with us? We're leaving like 15 minutes apart. She should have just come with us. No, something else is going on. She wanted to get home to Shane and something's going on there. Well, what? And they're all trying to figure it out. Well, something with her marriage. And Tamara's like, well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Then Shannon starts to say, with my divorce, everybody saw it and nobody wanted to hurt me. And she's talking very pointedly to Gina. And so Gina's getting a little, where I just don't want to talk about it. That's all. Get your fingers out of your eyes, ladies. It creeps me out. Use a tissue or something. But your fingers, you've been touching that bus and think about all the places your hands have been. And now you're touching your eyeballs. Anyway, she says she doesn't want to talk about it. And Shannon's like, gets real close and kisses her on the cheek. And she said, you know what? This isn't the place to talk about it. But if you ever want to, I'm there for you. I would like to talk to you sometime. I don't have anything bad to say about that. It felt genuine to me. And it might be helpful for Gina, Okay, so now Emily gets home and Fisker's so happy to see her. If only humans were as happy to see us as our pets, this would be a much, much better world. Fisker is the only one that greets her and she's like, where is everybody? So she heads upstairs to the boys' room and all the kids are in there with Shane. Emily walks in and she goes, hi. Annabelle, her daughter, runs and hugs her. I'm going to play this little video part. It won't have the audio, but you just have to look at Shane's body language. His eyes are down. He's looking at the kids. He doesn't even make eye contact with Emily. Hasn't he been gone for 10 days or something? And then when she said, okay, honey, let me say hello to Daddy. I haven't seen him in forever. And she goes to hug him and he turns his face away from her. What was that? Then he makes a joke about, are you ready to cook and clean? And she goes, are you ready to cook and clean? He goes, no, I'm asking you if you're ready to. I know it was a joke. Some of you guys are not even going to think he was joking about that, but he was. I can tell when he's joking, but aside from the joking, there is definitely something wrong with the way he didn't even want to kiss her. You don't have to make out with her. I get it. The cameras are there. That's weird and awkward. I actually get that. But you don't want to kiss your wife? So the kids are in their rooms getting ready for bed, and she goes sits down on the couch, and she's like, "Come sit. I haven't seen you in a long time." And he said, "So what'd you do all day?" And she goes, "Oh, I was in LA all day, but I want to talk about you." And then she pats the couch right next to her, and she goes, "Come sit." Well, this is cute because when she pats the couch, Fisker comes and jumps right in that spot. And she goes, "I wasn't talking to you. Get down." So he jumps down, but Shane still doesn't sit right next to her. He sits on the very edge of the couch on the chaise part of it. And she goes, "How'd you do today?" And he goes, "I did fine." And she goes, "I know, but you could tell me more. How do you feel?" I imagine that the average person might say, "Well, I feel pretty good. I think I did well on the contract law portion of it, but then there was this section was, there was a couple questions I wasn't sure." I would imagine you would talk about it with your spouse. Emily asks Shane, "How do you feel?" And his response is, "I feel hungry." Okay. Then he says, I don't want to jinx anything, that's all. Okay. I get it. He's taken it a couple times before, and I'm sure there's a lot of stress, but still. So he keeps trying to change the subject to, "How was her day?" She's like, "I don't want to talk about my day. I want to talk about you." And he goes, "How's your day? How do you feel about it all?" And she goes, "I don't want to talk about it right now." And Shane said, "Well, if you don't feel anything, then I'm going to go downstairs and eat." So she gets up and she goes, "Okay, never mind." In her confessional, she's like, "Who else are you going to have a conversation with about the bar exam than another attorney?" And she's right. I wasn't even thinking of that aspect. I was just thinking that a spouse would be interested, but she's also been through it. So she would even be a better person to talk to about it because she understands it so much more than I would. He goes downstairs to fix himself something to eat. She makes one more attempt to connect with him on a physical level. She goes up to him and hugs him. I mean, he hugs her back a little. I don't know. Am I giving him too much credit? I think he told her that she could watch him eat. Again, I think he was kidding, but here's what's happening. The sarcastic comments and teasing, that could work in a marriage. My husband is like that a lot, but he isn't completely distant from me and then teasing me on top of it. He's affectionate and loving, and then the teasing part is something that feels playful. Here, it can't feel playful because there's no other loving connection that we're seeing, at least. I'm willing to concede that we don't know enough about any of the marriages we see to really have the full story. But here's the problem. In Emily's confessionals, she's telling us she doesn't understand why a husband, after not seeing his wife for 10 days, doesn't want more affection. She's questioning it. Who would know more about whether this is weird or not than Emily? So right now, I'm just following her cues. I don't even have to take a guess at it. She thinks something feels wrong, and everything we're seeing on the show is validating that. So now they're sitting down at the table while he's eating, and she sounds depressed. She's talking real quiet, and she just definitely seems blue. He's like, "So what are you going to do tomorrow?" She's like, "Well, I'm going to go into work for a little bit, and then I'm going to meet up with Gina." She said, "We're going to get our nails done." And he said, "Oh, does she have a court date tomorrow? Is that why you're meeting up with her?" And she goes, "No, that got continued." Shane, so she could get her nails done? And Emily goes, "Yeah." I think Shane was making a joke like she got a continuance in order to get her nails done. I think he was being funny. But I think Emily took it like she had a continuance and that's why she can get her nails done. You know what I mean? So that's why she said yes. And Shane's like, "Oh." So then he said, "Well, how was it while I was gone?" And Annabelle is sitting at the table too. She's having some cereal or something. And Annabelle said, "We didn't have any help." Shane's like, "Oh, see how much I contribute?" And Emily's like, "I never said you didn't contribute. It's just that it's hard when it's just one person doing all of it. If I have to give all 3 kids a bath, it's hard just being by myself." We cut to a confessional with Shane. The producer says to him, "Did you miss Emily while you were away studying?" And I don't care if he's kidding or not. This was a douchebag response. I swear to God, you can play this part back. I'm not embellishing. I'm just telling you what he said and how he said it. He starts laughing and he goes, "This is where the sarcasm comes in. Certainly I missed her." I mean, if I tell you the truth, she's going to be pissed. But on the other hand, I don't want to fib. If I were the producer, my next question would be, why? Why didn't you miss her? So just in case you didn't think that was bad enough, he then goes on to say, I didn't cry myself to sleep because I missed my family. I just do what I have to do so I can finish and then I can go back home to my family and my kids. Side note, I can't believe that I was afraid that his sophomore year, he was going to go the other extreme and be like super nice and loving and try to get everybody to change their mind about him. No, he is doubling down on season 1, and there is a part of me that respects that. He is unapologetically an ass, and I can work with that. Okay. The Emily Shane scene ends with one final attempt on Emily's part to get him to talk about his feelings about the bar. She said, "Do you feel like relieved that it's over?" And Shane said, "No, I'm just hungry." Who is that hungry? Plus, you've been eating for 20 minutes. Are you still that hungry? Thankfully, we are moving on. Now we are at a restaurant with Bronwyn and her mother, Dr. Deb. It's at night and it's outside, so the lighting is really bad. I may take a couple screenshots, but I don't know if it's going to be hard for you guys to see or not. Side note, when their drinks came, Dr. Deb said, "Would you take this plastic straw away, please?" But the straw was in her drink. So I'm just going to ask you guys, because I sort of have this dilemma too. I feel like she needed to say no plastic straws before the drink was made, because what's that waitress going to do with that straw? She's going to throw it away anyway. So what difference does it make now if, Deb, you sip out of it or put it down on the table or whatever? It's already been used and it's going to be thrown away. Hopefully it won't end up in a turtle's nose, but I think you needed to request no straw beforehand, right? It's something I forget to do in restaurants all the time. And I'm always thinking once my drink comes out that it's too late now, right? Leave a comment. If there's some benefit to saying, please take the straw away, like if they're gonna reuse, I don't know. Whatever, I'm getting too bogged down in the plastic straw. Moving on. Bronwyn is telling her about the day in LA that she had with the ladies. And she said, yeah, we passed by the whiskey. I was telling them that's where your band used to play when I was a little kid. And, you know, she used to bring her because she couldn't afford a babysitter. So this little kid would be there when they were performing or rehearsals. I don't know what. But I told you this is what Bronwyn's book should be about. Quite the childhood. But Dr. Deb's response was, oh yeah, I remember the bartender would give you milk in your bottle and you would just kind of like look up at the stage. It was a lot of fun. So if you thought she was going to look back on it and apologize for raising her that way, no. Dr. Deb looks back fondly like it was, yeah, good times. Good times were had by all, even your 4-year-old daughter. So now Bronwyn tells her, I got in trouble with the ladies. I reached out to somebody and I said I didn't. And then they called me out on that and got really mad. And her mom's like, wait, you reached out to someone, but you told them you didn't reach out to them? So you did lie. And Bronwyn goes, yeah, I did. But I don't usually get called out on my lies. These women are calling me out on my lies. I'm not used to that. I lied because I thought it would be the easy out. I don't know, like I said before, I get it. It wasn't the right thing to do. It just, I kind of understand it. Then her mom asks her why she lies. And she goes, you mean, why do I lie instead of hurt someone's feelings? I guess because I want to be liked. And her mom goes, do you think I don't like you? And Bronwyn goes, no, well, maybe. Ugh. We may be peeling back some layers of the onion here, people. And her mom's like, see, just like be honest. Then in Bronwyn's confessional, she said, all my life growing up, I wanted a mother who put me first. But that never happened. All her life, she was so focused on herself and her career. I always felt like she would always love herself more than anybody else. Oh boy, we are diving deep into the bowels of Dr. Deb and Bronwyn's early years. And it's getting ugly. Bronwyn, she talked about being shuffled around. And Dr. Deb's like, you mean like to your grandparents? As though, I didn't just throw you with strangers or something. And she said, well, yeah, but it was always a new school. I always had to make new friends. Then she tells us that she used to take the bus home alone with a little necklace with a house key on it and let herself into the house after school. Wait for it, at age 4. What school was she even going to it for? Preschool? I don't know. Kindergarten? That would be early for kindergarten, but this is a wild story. What's interesting to me is Dr. Deb's not taking responsibility in a negative way for any of this. Bronwyn's like, I had to take care of myself at a very early age. And Dr. Deb's like, yes, that's radical self-reliance. It was like she thought it was a good thing that she had taught her to be self-reliant. Okay, at 12, but 4? I don't know. Anyway, in Dr. Deb's confessional, she said, Bronwyn has animosity towards me for some perceived unconventional childhood. Perceived because it was an actual unconventional childhood. Then she says, Bronwyn thinks she suffered, but I mean, when you look at refugee camps, I think Bronwyn did pretty well in comparison. Okay, Deb, your daughter's childhood was great in comparison to being in a refugee camp. Oh, doesn't let you off the hook. Okay, guys, next we are with Kelly and Dr. Reagan. Side note, with all that we have been talking about and dealing with so far in this, 5 episodes of Orange County, I welcome a scene with creepy Dr. Reagan. They are in San Diego, which I guess is where he lives. And he goes to the office in Orange County twice a week, and then so Kelly sees him then, and she sees him every other weekend, and I don't know, whatever. She said that schedule works well for them. Okay, so they're sitting at this restaurant where everybody knows his name, and Kelly starts to tell him about their day in LA on Rodeo Drive. And she said, at one point we went into a jewelry store, and he goes, oh, that's dangerous. And she's like, yeah. And so everybody started asking, when are you going to get a ring? Brian's like, oh. And he goes, what did you say? And she goes, I was just like, oh, stop. Oh, we're just dating. Then we get a flashback to them like trying on rings and stuff. And Shannon did say something like, Kelly, you're next. And Gina goes, oh, is that the boyfriend? This is Kelly's response. He's a plastic surgeon. Just in case you didn't know why she's dating him. I mean, who does that? Gina's like, oh, then he can afford that ring. I am super sorry about everything that's been going on with Kelly lately, and really mostly Jolie. But Kelly, you're the worst. You really are a gold digger. In her confessional, she goes, I'm in love with Dr. Brian. I've found my perfect match, and I'm ready to lock it down. Okay, here's a little experiment, Kelly. Stop saying doctor before his name. Let's try that. And then ask yourself, if he wasn't a doctor, are you still in love with him? Okay, damn it. I said I wasn't going to talk about the train, but this, I have to. Kelly tells Dr. Reagan about it. And he's like sexually? She's like, yeah, Vicky's spreading this horrible rumor. And she goes, I've been married since I'm 25. And then single for a year. And he goes, yeah, you've been single for a year. There wasn't even time for you to do a train. What? I know that I'm new to all this, But she was single for a year. And that's not enough time to do a train? Oh, okay. You guys who know me know that I struggle when I'm trying to be fair and I don't want to be fair to somebody. But did I kind of like Dr. Brian Reagan in this scene? I think I did. His advice to Kelly was sound. It was normal. It was realistic. I was about to say, oh my God, I think I really like Dr. Reagan now, until the very, very end when he said, keep your eyes on the prize. And I hope I'm part of that prize. And she's like, you are. And he goes, aw, baby. He gave good sound advice. I appreciate that, but there is still the ick factor for me. Next, we are going to a hip-hop class with Bronwyn, Tamara, and Shannon. Shannon shows up looking like a Beastie Boy, circa 1980 something. I took this screenshot, you guys. Look at the girl's face behind her. Oh my God. That's hilarious. And let me just say this. Their dancing is about what you would imagine. Actually, no, Tamara is much worse than I thought she would be. The guy's like, let's start off slow. It's left and then right and then left. And you hear Tamara, left and then right and then left. Oh my God. And she still didn't get it. Okay, so now we are at the nail salon with Gina and Emily, and they're serving them champagne, and Gina's like, none for me. I drank enough last night for everybody, and I'm driving today, so. Okay, did she get her license back? Because don't mess around. You're on TV and you're saying things like that. Not good. You know who she should be calling is Luann. In Gina's confessional, she's like, my lawyer filed a continuance for my arraignment, so that's why I didn't have to go to court today. So while I'm waiting, like, obviously no drinking and driving. I'll never take another sip and drive again. Oh my gosh. Emily does a complete whitewash on what happened with her and Shane the night before, because Gina's asking her, so how was it when you saw Shane? And she goes, well, I wanted to talk about the bar, but he was exhausted. I didn't hear him say he was tired once. He was hungry. I know that. We all know how hungry he was. I just feel like she is so conditioned to cover for him. Gina's trying to be super diplomatic by saying, well, you guys are just off. And it's because of the bar. It's just situational. But definitely right now you guys are off. Well, at least one of them is off. Okay, so back to the hip hop. The class is over. Tamara's like, I'm not going to lie, I'm probably never going to come back here. And the guy's like, okay. I'm sure he was A-okay with that himself. So then they start talking about the problem with them and her lying. Bronwyn said, I'm not going to lie, I felt ganged up on. Tamara's like, she did get vulnerable. And I swear to God, this is the secret to any of these housewives' success. Get vulnerable, share everything. And the second Bronwyn did this, then they were okay. All right, she's getting real. She's getting down and dirty with her issues. And then you're golden. So anyway, her explaining that she's always tried to fit in, be a people pleaser. That might be why she got in so tight with everybody from the get-go, because she has developed this, sort of chameleon thing. She's not really being totally herself. She's blending, and she does it well, and it makes people like her. But then the second she does something wrong, like she said, she runs. She's always moved her whole life and she's never had to really deal with it. And I mean, she did say she thinks that if these friendships are worth it, they're probably not, but if they're worth it, then, she's going to do the hard thing and she's going to stick with it and try to work on it. So I think Tamara and Shannon are accepting that. So this next scene is with Emily and her daughter Annabelle and her mother-in-law Perry. And they're at a petting zoo, and Annabelle is so cute, you guys. She is in the confessional with Emily talking about how she likes the petting zoo, and she's like, I like it because I can pick up the animals, and even the ones I can't pick up, I can feed them. And oh, she's so cute. So they're sitting there and she starts to have a little conversation with Perry. Emily starts telling her that when Shane has come back home after taking the bar, that she thought the transition would be easier than it was. And Perry's like, oh, yeah, I thought it would be easy too. And she said, no, he gets mad at me and I've been getting mad at him. And I don't know. I thought him coming back home that the transition would be easier than it has been. In the confessional, she said that Perry has always been a good person for her to bounce things off of because Perry provides her with the emotional support that she doesn't get from Shane. Okay. Perry's advice, you guys know how much I love her, right? Okay, her advice is a little old-fashioned, let's say. She thinks that Emily needs to, well, this is okay. She said if things aren't important, let them go. I think everybody needs to do a little bit more of that. Emily recognizes in herself that she always has to combat every single thing he says. She's got to have a comeback, and she's realizing she needs to just sometimes not say anything. It's kind of like that don't sweat the small stuff. If you can start to ignore the little things that don't really matter that much, then those little things won't matter that much to you either. It's almost like conditioning yourself in a way. So I kind of understand that. Okay. So what she said was, you know what they told us at the bank? I don't know. I guess she used to work at a bank. Was if you get mad at something somebody says, just smile and do it anyway, and then go to the bathroom and open the toilet, and whatever you were going to say to them, say it to the toilet. I can understand how that might be helpful at your job. You don't want to get fired, and it's a way to control your temper. But for her to give Emily this advice in dealing with her own husband, I got a problem with that. You don't have to tamp down all your feelings and tell them to a toilet. I mean, you should be able to just say them to the toilet you're married to. I think you should be able to voice displeasure to your spouse and talk through it. Anyway, Emily said something funny in her confessional about, I'd be in the bathroom all the time just flushing my feelings down. So I think she kind of gets it too. But I still love Perry. I love Perry. I think her advice was a little provincial, maybe. Okay, the next scene, Shannon's at home. She gets on the phone and she FaceTimes Tamara to tell her that her attorney friend, who she referred Gina to, but Gina didn't reach out to him yet, called Shannon and told her that Gina missed her court date and the judge is issuing a warrant for her arrest. Lots of thoughts and feelings here. First, Gina told us it got postponed, so somebody got their wires crossed. And two, Shannon, why are you calling Tamara with this information? You fooled me. I thought you were starting to really care about Gina. I can't see any other reason for telling Tamara other than it's a juicy piece of gossip. So you got to help me out here. Are you a good friend or not? I know you can't tolerate dishonesty. That's a deal breaker for you in terms of friendship. But how about betrayal? Can you tolerate betrayal? Because I really feel like you going to Tamara and not Gina is kind of betraying Gina. And also, let's not forget that you're doing this in front of a camera crew. God, I feel so bad for Gina. So her attorney put in for a continuance, but he never checked to see if it was approved, and it was not approved. So all the court knows is that Gina didn't show up for her court date. I don't know who her attorney is, but he needs to fix this for her. And then she needs to find another attorney. Okay, so now we're going back to Tamara and Shannon, and I guess maybe Shannon did talk to Gina first. I don't know. Because then she said, why would Gina know what to do? She shouldn't know what to do. She trusted an expert and that was his fault. And then they start to attack Emily. Why didn't her attorney friend Emily tell her she should show up? I don't know. Why didn't her attorney friend Emily represent her? Why would Emily know that the attorney didn't call to check and make sure it was a real thing? That's not for Emily to know just because she's an attorney. This whole thing is kind of messed up. Okay, now Shannon does call her and she's supportive, and she's like, maybe this is now an easier way for you to break from that attorney and you can get with mine and have better representation. And she's like, thank you so much. She said she wasn't even supposed to appear in court. Her attorney was supposed to appear on her behalf. She's like, why didn't he have somebody there just as a backup, just in case? And oh my God, my heart is breaking for her. Side note, we get another interesting confessional persona from Gina. This one is baby doll Gina. She's in a little pink dress. This isn't something that you play around with. This is the law. And if they want to come and bring me to jail, they will come and they will bring me to jail. And there's nothing I can do about it. Gina, I love you. Maybe she's got multiple personality disorder. Maybe the stress is causing like a Sybil kind of a situation. You never know. Okay, so now we are with Shannon and Gina, and they're in this like furniture design store, and Shannon, I don't know if Shannon's looking for some pieces for her bedroom now because she's used them for many other rooms in her house, and whatever, that's not important. What is important is that Gina shows up and immediately starts crying in the store. She's just like, thank you so much, Shannon. And she's like, oh, don't thank me. It's okay. She did get in contact with Shannon's attorney friend, and he managed to get the warrant canceled. And we see a little flashback to her meeting with him in his office and him saying that the police were heading out that day to arrest her. And she's like, my God, that's so scary. And he goes, yeah, but it's not, it's been called off. So don't worry about it. Something's bothering me, you guys. Tell me if I'm wrong to have this weird feeling, but I just feel like Gina is so vulnerable right now that people around her seem like they're taking advantage somehow. I don't know how. I don't totally trust this guy. Not that I think he's not a good attorney or good at his job or whatever, but like, why did he call Shannon when he found out there was going to be a warrant out for her arrest? Why did he call Shannon? I don't know. I know they're friends. I know Gina hadn't hired him yet, so it wasn't like he was breaking attorney-client privilege or anything like that, but it just bugged me somehow. Something about it. I guess I could be wrong. I don't have any real concrete proof of why I feel like there's vultures around Gina for some reason. I don't know. I feel protective of her. So anyway, Shannon's like, let's sit down over here because you had told me a couple of times now that there's some stuff going on with you. And they sit down in these two chairs and Gina's like, yeah, there's a lot. Okay, so Shannon, when you were in the van and you said, I want to talk to you about this, but this is not the time or place, you meant let's wait until we're in a furniture store? Is it just me, or is like, why couldn't you invite her over to your house? So they're sitting down in two chairs that I'm sure are for sale, if anyone's interested, in this store to have this really deeply personal conversation. What Gina tells Shannon is that when Shannon was going through her divorce and everybody knew about it and it was painful, Gina said, I felt like I was going through the same thing you were, only nobody knew and I was keeping it inside, and then you were open and honest about it, and I was sort of jealous of that. And then when Shannon, and we saw a flashback to this, when Shannon told Gina that she was jealous of her because Gina was going through a divorce, but she was still attracted to her husband and he was still her best friend. That's the kind of divorce Shannon wished that she could have had. Gina said, you saying that and then me knowing that it was a lie. I wasn't telling anybody. I didn't even tell my parents. So Shannon's like, oh, wow. Ugh. I'm sorry, I know how hard that is. Shannon tells her that no matter what, I'm going to be there for you. And she's kind of laughing and crying. And she's like, who knew? Thank God for Shannon Bedore. She is my hero. Yeah, she's just very, very appreciative of Shannon. And I think Shannon is in her glory, being needed by somebody. I think she loves that. I could be wrong, but I don't think Shannon is like abusing the friendship. I think she really just genuinely likes to be in a position where somebody needs her. Maybe. So anyway, those two just have a good laugh and they're so happy to be friends. And that is where this episode ends. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I want to hear from you. Please leave a comment. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed to Jill Informed, please consider doing so. And I will see you next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Time for the next recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Bye.